in a short answer.
How was your experience when you actually like went to Brazil? And have you only been in Brazil at one time, or have you been like multiple times?
Just one time. You said, how was my experience? Oh man, very gratifying, very affirming and confirming. Like, there's no way that you study something for a bunch of years and then go to the homeland and not feel like you just completed a huge mission. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it was just everything that I said about my initial immersion. Like my first Capoeira Batizado is that times exponentials, times 10, times 100, whatever. You know what I mean? Because it's very much the same thing. Like, but it was also like I really got to see how people took care of each other without the excuse of work getting in the way, or without the excuse of like, oh, I mean, I just didn't have the money. Like, people don't think like that. Like they make it happen, So like before I even landed, multiple people were reaching out to me to kind of thing to make sure, I had a ride, that I had a place to stay. Like just the level of community is like, it's they make you feel like you're the president. But like it's a thing that and that's my own perspective on it, but that's something that I've noticed anytime we do have these events or people do travel. So like when I went home, when I say home, when I went to Brazil, I felt like they rolled out the red carpet for me. Like everybody was inviting me to stay at their house. Like, oh, do you got a place to stay? Yeah, I already paid for Airbnb, unfortunately, so I am gonna use it. But like, dang, like now I know. Like, so yeah, it was super, super welcoming. There's already like within 2 or 3 days, it was like 3 people that I was calling like my brother, but I actually felt that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like I knew these people forever. So yeah, man, Brazil was an amazing experience. It's always going to be something that we need to do more often.
Yeah, in engaging with more sustainable communities, my perception of sustainability has been changed greatly. Because being raised around a lot of Pan-African communities, my initial conception of sustainability was like you get your money, you have your own bank, you have your own church, and then you kind of close off from the outside world like Wakanda, and it's y'all just only doing stuff with each other. But as time has passed, I've realized that like fiat is cool and fiat is definitely important for like not dying, especially in a capitalist society.
Right.
But I've learned, especially growing up more and having certain bills and obligations and stuff, that a lot of people will make their lives more expensive and more difficult to get out of having to feel reliant on people because they don't want to like feel disappointed or let people down as a counterbalance. And when you engage in a manner that is socially sustainable, where you know people that have access to certain things and you can use the things they don't want and they can use the stuff that you don't want, your existence becomes far less expensive and far more convenient in a very interesting way.
Man, yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate how you condensed that for me. So I guess, yeah, that was what I was trying to articulate with sustainability. Like, yeah, there's sustainability that's just super evident, super prevalent. Like, for instance, I remember like during the beginning of our event, like one of the higher level capoeiristas, she came out with a whole cooler and she was selling everybody juices, but it wasn't like overthought. It wasn't like, it just seemed so natural to them. It was like, duh, of course somebody's gonna come here and sell juices. The event ended and she brought out sandwiches, and it was like, oh, like, why aren't we thinking about like how to feed ourselves? You know what I'm saying? Like, we know we're about to be training all day. Like, why aren't we designating this over here? Like, we're overthinking, over planning. Like, just somebody needs to just do it, just execute. So yeah, that sustainability word, I love that. That was very highly appreciated.
Indeed, and I feel that y'all are doing it, and engaging with y'all actually changed my entire methodology of traveling and collecting information, learning different things and different stories and stuff. Because initially, just like visiting your group and then learning about the connection between the different groups in Atlanta was in itself fascinating. That you all have these like connected histories and these lineages that go like across different countries and different lines. And although y'all are like in different places, y'all know each other and y'all engage in the manners that are conducive to the ways that you want to exist. And then y'all meet with each other in the intersection of your desires so that there's like minimum so that there is less conflict than there could be in other cases, which is really, really,
Mm.
really cool to me. In addition to that, when let's see if I remember this man's name. Uh, I don't remember his name. The mestre that moved to Texas. Who's he?
Oh, hell.
Okay, cool. Mestre Hayao. I don't remember who. Oh, that's what it was. There's an Angelero that I met in Philly because there's a restaurant up in Philly that's like a vegan restaurant operated by a Pan African community, and they brought capoeira to Philly in like the 80s, and then they had to like stop doing stuff for a little bit to get certain things together, and then they basically did this big renovation and they brought it back. And so I was just chilling in a restaurant and I saw a dude that looked like a capoeirista. And I don't know how I just like, excuse me, sir, like, do you train? And he was like, yeah, I'm about to teach the capoeira class. I was like, really now? And so I joined his class and he was like, you from Atlanta? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, find Kamal and tell him that Oman sent you. I was like, cool. And that's exactly what I did. And then all of y'all happened to be there, and this mesh trade I was moving happened to be there, and all it like it was interesting. And then also watching how like I'm used to seeing y'all like do these like crazy moves and like this crazy tricky stuff and jumping all over the place. So like seeing all of y'all just like authentically represent yourself, but at the same time, like articulate yourself in the Angola style. And in the Angola, it's more of like a tradition or a practice than even like a martial style, was just like really fascinating to me. And it made me realize that if you can articulate yourself in in other traditions or in traditions that you're normally not seen in, then like building up your expression should be the skill as opposed to like building up your move set basically.
Man, first off, thank you for even saying that we helped you in that way. And second off, you have a crazy eye for detail. For you to pick that up, man, like in this kind of depth of detail, like that's impressive, man. Really, like you know.
Thank you, bro.